right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So again, it's always important for us to recognize Most High's high holy day, the Shabbat. So we're going to go to Genesis 2nd chapter, 1st verse. All right, 2nd chapter and the 1st verse. So we can understand the Shabbat, the Most High's high holy Shabbat was made in the 7th day. It was created by the Most High, made in the 7th day. If there's any high holy day that is most noble and honorable and should be recognized, it's the Shabbat. All right? The Shabbat is, I'm going to say this, the Shabbat is over all the high holy days. How about that? If you notice, with all the high holy days, the Shabbat is in it. All the high holy days start with what? A Shabbat. And a lot of high holy days end with a Shabbat. Okay? So out of all the high holy days, the Shabbat is the most noticed and recognized and the highest of all of them. Okay? I would say it's the highest of all. But all high holy days, of course, are ceremonial laws that we, as Israelites and as Yasha'Allah, we're supposed to recognize, because that's part of our, not our worship of the Most High. It's our worship of the Most High, but it's part also of what? The custom and the culture, what the Most High gave us. See, of our people. Just like the nations have their customs, they have their holy days, whatever it is. They have their culture and their holidays, whatever it is. Right? And so, but they give honor to it. And in their culture and their custom, whatever their religious practices are, that day everything is shut down. They're not doing any work. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably be a feast day or a parade or whatever, but they give an honor to that so-called religious holiday that they have. And so that's what Israel has to come back to in righteousness and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So the Shabbat should be on that level. We should celebrate Shabbat like almost like you have a parade out there. You understand? That's how the Shabbat should be. It should be on that level. So instead of, brothers, trickling in, or sisters or whatever, it should be, all people should be here ready for the Shabbat and to hear the word and to hear the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High, to praise the Most High. Even if you don't open up the Bible, but you should praise the Most High. How about that? If we can just sit here and just say prayers all day and worshiping the Most High, you're praising the Most High on the Shabbat. Okay? But of course, most of the time we have a class and we go through the books of the law and the prophecies and so forth. But if you just come and there's, whatever the congregation is, a number of the congregation, just sit here and praise the Most High through prayer and song and in worship. That's what the Most High wants on a Shabbat. And we don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. So we got to begin to get on that level. See, because we have to start now. See, there has to be a sense of urgency with our people to really come back and begin to declare the name of the Most High, declare the name of Yahweh Shai, and declare the ceremonial laws and statutes and commandments. See? But there's no sense of urgency. Understand? So, and also declare concerning Mount Zion, the tabernacle of David, all right, where the Most High is going to redeem us and deliver us at the tabernacle of David. See? No sense of urgency. Understand? So we have to get back to that. So go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and the 1st verse, and we're just going to see how important the Shabbat is. It's very important. Okay? Very important. Okay, read that up.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day the Most High ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
Right. So understanding what the Most High is teaching us here, it says that he finished all his work on the Sabbath, on the seventh day. That means the Most High was busy the 6 days before. He was working. All right, 6 days before. So he finished all creation and all the works that went into the creation of heaven and earth and the sun, moon, and stars, even the creation of the people, humans on earth, everything. Most High said on the seventh day he rested. See? So as you can see, this is why you have the menorah. 7 days of creation, the menorah. That's what the seven-pronged menorah represents. 7 days of creation. On the seventh day, the Most High rested. So it's the same. So that's one of the first high holy days that you really read about in the scriptures. The Shabbat. You don't read Passover. How about that? You don't read the Day of Atonement. You don't read Tabernacles. You don't read Memorial Blowing the Trumpets or the Day of Pentecost. You read what? The Shabbat. From the creation. Understand? So we have to come to the understanding that Shabbat is the most important of all the high holy days and ceremonial laws. It's the most important. But we take it for granted. We take it literally for granted. And we, you know, like the scriptures say, we, as Israel, when you read the scriptures, we didn't look into it. We didn't keep it holy enough. So this is why the Most High is angry. Okay, now read that one more time.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished.
See, the heavens and earth were finished. And all the creation was finished. So like Yasha'Allah, like we're supposed to do. At the end of the week, when all your work is finished, go ahead,
and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work.
So on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work. Now you got to remember, the seventh day, the Most High ended his work. It didn't say according to the moon. Didn't say nothing about the lunar moon. Didn't say nothing concerning, did it? It just said the seventh day. That's all it said, the seventh day. That's all it said. You know, all this you hear about the lunar moon, and they're going to wait for the moon to come. You know, the new moon to come to determine their Sabbath. The next thing you know, they're celebrating the Sabbath on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday or whatever. Most High said the seventh day. He didn't say, well, when the moon comes, then you count the number of days. He didn't say that, did he? No. Didn't say that. But you hear that a lot of, you know, Israelites and brothers and other Israelite schools and camps, they celebrate the Sabbath according to the new moon, according to the moon, the lunar moon. Most High, did he say that? I don't read that in that. Hold on, brother. We're just going to continue for a few. Hold on. Okay, I didn't read that in there. Okay. Okay, go ahead,
And on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work, which he had made.
On the seventh day, he ended his work, which he had made. Okay, go ahead.
And he rested on the seventh day.
See, rest on the seventh day. Okay, so Israel, we had first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, and on the seventh day, the Most High rested. That's how you celebrate the Shabbat. With the Gregorian calendar and these Greek calendars that we go by today, they show you that the first day of the week on those calendars is what? Sunday. They show you Sunday, right? But they got everybody thinking Sunday is the seventh day when they show you on their own calendars that Sunday is the first day of the week. How about that? You get everybody fooled, don't they? Right? Everybody fooled. And you know, Sunday is a different kind of worship. Right? Satanic worship of the sun. And not so much of the sun, it's talking about Satan, the sun. Satan. Talking about that sun. The devil. The worship of the sun. Sunday. Worshipping of the sun. It's witchcraft. It's satanic. So that's why when they go into the church, they worship Jesus, which is Zeus, which is Satan. Because you're worshiping the sun. It goes all the way back to Nimrod. Nimrod becoming the sun day. And the sun Tammuz, sun day. How about that? They're worshiping Babylonian gods, idol gods, demonic gods. That's what they're worshiping in the church. All of them. All the churches. All of them. I'm going to tell you, even the Seventh-day Adventists. And they're supposed to celebrate the Sabbath, right? But you go in there, what do you hear? Jesus, you hear all that madness. So they still bring out that satanic name in their church. Okay, so they had the Sabbath, the seventh day, but they still bring out the satanic name. So it doesn't matter. So all of them are worshiping that. So the Most High said the seventh day. How do you know? Because Esau and the elite of the society are contrary. They're going to go against the commandments of the Most High. So it's just common sense. You know he's not going to celebrate them and worship the Most High's law, statute, commandments, and the seventh day on the right day. You know he's not. He's just not going to do it. It's contrary. Understand? And then it tells you how Mary, right, Yahweh's mother, came to the sepulchre as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week, which was so-called Sunday. Understand? So, I mean, and there's all clues like that in the scriptures. Okay? So, go ahead, finish reading now.
Continuing with verse 2. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it.
See, he blessed the Sabbath and sanctified it. Understand? Made it holy. Seventh day is holy unto the Most High. Sanctified it. How about that? See? And we take it for granted. Everybody's out there doing what they want to do. So I can see why if the Most High bring a hurricane and damn near obliterate Puerto Rico. Why? You know what I'm saying? Obliterate some of the islands and certain parts of America. A hurricane that came and torched and put North Carolina pretty much underwater, or parts of it anyway, and killed how many people? Over 20-something people. You can see why. Because the Most High said what? He's furious. He's angry. Okay? And he has his way in the storm and the whirlwind. Most High is a killer. A killer for righteousness. Okay? Go ahead,
Because that in it he had rested from all his work, which the Most High created and made.
See? So in it, in that day, aren't we in this day? But also we should understand that it starts at sundown. Friday sundown. Because the day with the Most High begins when? Evening. At sundown. Right, in the evening, at sundown. So when Friday sundown came, and we only say Friday sundown for edification so that the congregation could understand what day it falls on and what day it starts. Friday sundown. But we know it's not Friday anymore once that sun goes down. It's not Friday anymore. It's the beginning of Shabbat. The Most High ended all his work and he rested. See, that's why the Most High says, do as I say. I say. Don't be just a follower. You know what I'm saying? Or be a doer. You know what I'm saying? Don't be just a hearer of the word. Be a doer. So that's why the Most High and Yahushua says he is the example. So if the Most High rested, he's commanding Israel, Yasha'Allah, to rest in that day also. Okay. So highly important. Was that it on that?
Come.
Yeah. So now you're going to get Exodus, right? Exodus 20 and 8. Exodus 20 and 8.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Come.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
You see? Why remember it? Why remember it? If it's just any old day, why remember it? Why would the Most High single out that day? Understand? Why would he just single out that day? Understand? That day is highly important. Remember the Shabbat. This is part of one of the 10 Commandments. Come? See? Because one, Moses understood, Moses understood that we were going to go into captivity. And we would forget the commandments of the Most High. So he said, remember the Shabbat to keep it holy. See? The Shabbat doesn't stop. Even though we were dispersed throughout all the nations, the Shabbat never stops. If you don't keep it, does the Most High just stop it? No. Even the heavens keep the Shabbat. Even the angels keep the Shabbat. Because the Most High said he rested. He kept the Shabbat. So what are the angels doing every 7th day? See? The commandments don't stop because we stop keeping it. The ceremonial laws don't stop because we stop keeping it. The Most High keeps it going. Until the redemption, until the redeeming process, until we come back to the knowledge of ourselves, then we begin to keep it. And we just flow right into it because it didn't stop. It just, you know what I'm saying? We just have to flow into it and start keeping it. But the Most High, Yahweh Shai, the angels, they all been keeping it ever since the creation. We messed up. See, so the Most High's commandments and ceremonial laws, they continue forever. Okay? So remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Go ahead up.
Exodus 20:9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power.
The 7th is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. Again, the 7th day. Didn't say nothing about the moon, did it?
Wow.
Didn't say nothing about the lunar moon or new moon or nothing. It said day. You don't have to wait a whole month for the moon, for the new moon to come, then determine the Sabbath. You know, so the Most High didn't say do that. Then you'll be celebrating the Sabbath just once a month, come? I mean, that's what it appears to be. I don't know what they do. Do you know what they do? I don't know what they do. But unless they just wait a whole month and then, you know, but I don't know what they do every week, these lunar Sabbath brothers. You know, I don't know what they do every week. But we know that that 7th day is a rest day. Okay. So we have to understand that. Go ahead up.
Verse 10. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates.
Right. See, so Most High is teaching us is to not work. So he's saying not work. So it's supposed to be a total, which you've got to understand what Shabbat means. Shabbat, or Sabbath in English, all right, Shabbat, represents or means desist or cease, right, from your works, whatever your pleasure, whatever your works are. Okay, come? So it's a weekly rest day that the Most High prescribed for Yasha Allah and ultimately, okay, the whole earth. Because as you read in the scriptures, the Most High gave even a 7-year rest for the land. Right? Even the land gets a rest. Even every 7 years, the captives, the ones who were Hebrew servants, they got a rest every 7 years. How about that? When they were let go. And then, of course, the year of Jubilees, every 50 years, servants were let go. Land rests. Understand? So all this is very important. And all this starts with the premise of the Shabbat, 7-day rest. Okay, come? Okay, go ahead up.
Verse 11. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Hallowed it. Made it righteous. See? Made it, sanctified it, and made it holy. Hallowed it. A ceremonial law. Okay, come. And this is what we're dealing with. Now when you go to, and that was the third verse, come.
11?
That was 11?
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. And, yeah, I'm sorry, the 11. Okay. Now go to Exodus 31 and 12.
Exodus chapter 31 and verse 12. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep.
Right. So did you hear what the Most High says? Speak unto the children of Israel. Notice how the Most High is just dealing with Israel here. So the Most High is just dealing with Israel because why? We are the Most High's what? Firstborn. So that's why when you read 147 Psalms, He showeth His word unto Jacob. Right. Can somebody get that for me, Zaquan? He showeth His word to Jacob. And it says He has not dealt so with any nation. So the nations didn't get the understanding what the Shabbat is. They didn't get the understanding of what the 7-day rest is. It was given to Israel first. Go ahead, Up.
Reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth His word unto Jacob, His statutes and His judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for His judgments, they have not known them. Okay, so He had not dealt so with any other nation. He gave His law, statutes, commandments unto Yasha'Allah, Israel. Okay, so the Shabbat was given to Israel first. Then the nations, from the teachings and knowledge that Israel was able to obtain from the Most High, then Israel gives it to the rest of the nations, and that's how it works. Okay, so where do you think Esau gets this knowledge from? He goes straight to the Bible, and he knows the Shabbat. That's why he can come out and say, look, the Sabbath is Sunday, because he knows when the true day is of the Shabbat. Understand? And so forth. So go back up. Exodus 31. 13 now. Okay, good.
Exodus 31 and 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations.
How about that? So now the Most High is saying this is a sign. This is a covenant that we were supposed to keep the Shabbat through all our generations. A sign that makes us the Most High's chosen. Like, for example, what else made us the Most High's chosen? Give me another sign. One more sign. Give me another sign. That the Most High gave to Abraham what?
Covenant.
The covenant, but what was one of the signs that He gave to Abraham? The sign of
circumcision.
There you go. Sign of circumcision. Right. That all the males 8 days old were supposed to get circumcised. I wasn't talking to other nations. See, because the Most High said we're his chosen by what? Sacrifice. Okay? Blood sacrifices. So the Most High gave us high holy days, right? He gave us circumcision, which was a sign in your flesh that you were the Most High's chosen. Understand? Those type of signs make you the Most High's. Okay. And we were supposed to keep those commandments. See? Yeah, turn your phones off. But we were supposed to keep those commandments, and we didn't keep them. So the sign of the Shabbat is a high holy day, a commandment that He gave only to the nation of Israel. Yashar. That was it. That was it. Mosai didn't care about none of these nations here.
Right.
We have to keep it first. In order for the earth to follow, because the whole earth is going to come under the Mosai, ultimately, but Israel has to keep it first. And we have to keep it in righteousness first. So we didn't do that. So the whole earth fell out of course because we didn't keep none of the commandments like we were supposed to. The whole earth, it's upside down. And when the Mosai said the earth is upside down, it's literally upside down. Because the vibration is all negative. You're living in a negative world. The earth is boom. When Yahushua comes back, he's going to turn it right side up again. And so when Yahushua is going to turn it right side up again, where we got to be? We got to be right side up with it. If we're not with it, then we're going to fall with the rest of the nations. All right? So go ahead, I finish reading that.
Continuing with Exodus 31 and 13. For it is a sign between me and you and throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Most High that doth sanctify you.
Right, so how do we know that the Most High sanctified us? By those signs. He gave us the sign and the covenant of the Shabbat. Come? That was a sign given to Israel that we was the Most High's chosen people. That was one of the signs. Most High gave us many signs, but that was one of the signs. Okay, come. Go ahead. You're going to read to 17th verse.
Come.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death.
How about that? So it's holy unto you, but everyone defile it is going to be put to death. Yeah, that's serious, isn't it? Yeah. So, what do you think is going to happen in this society? It's finished. It's finished. America's finished. And that's just one. That's just one commandment. We know they broke all the commandments, but just one, this whole society should be put to death. Just one commandment. I'm going to show you, if you break one least of the commandments, that's your behind. You can't say to the Most High, well, I kept all the rest. No, it don't work that way. Right? If you commit murder, what is the white man going to say when you go to the judge? See? And their penal codes and their constitution and their laws, you could have been an upstanding citizen for all your life, but you commit murder, what's going to happen? No, you can't compromise the judge and say, well, I was an upstanding citizen for for my whole life up until now. Won't you give me a pass? Let me go. No. Nuh-uh. That's it. It's over. It's over. So how about that one law? The Most High has reason to destroy this whole place. This whole place. And that's what's going to happen. This whole place. That's just one. I mean, we can go through countless others, but we just dealing with one. This whole place is going to be destroyed. And only reason, because we didn't keep it either. We didn't keep the commandments either, right? So through grace, that's the only reason. It's the only reason. Okay? And the Most High has his chosen. Of this nation he has his chosen. Only through grace. By grace ye are saved, through faith. That's it. Go ahead, Doc.
Continuing with 14. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Right. See, the Most High saying with the Shabbat, any work therein shall be cut off by the Most High and Yahushua. You're cut off. So that's serious. So the Most High showed us different signs in the scriptures and gave us different examples in the scriptures of when you worked on the Sabbath, you were cut off and you were put to death. So even today, that's how serious it is. So the Most High teaches us to rehearse the righteous acts. So we got to come back to that. So there's not enough rehearsing. Okay, not enough rehearsing. And when we know in this society we got to work, we got to do certain things on Shabbat. So the Most High looks at us in our ignorance, understand? And there's certain things that we have to do, but we can't get away from it. We're in our captivity on this side, right? So we can't get out of it. But other than that, if you don't have to work, if you're not working, if you're off, the Most High know what you can do. Then you should be here at the Shabbat. Come? And I'm going to tell you, we should be here at the Shabbat 6 o'clock in the morning. Understand? 6 o'clock in the morning. Should be 12 o'clock noon. Understand? 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I understand the train or whatever. That's one thing. You understand? So that's beyond your power. You can't do nothing about that. But when it's within your power, you should be here. Come? And that's what the Most High is looking for. Go ahead, you're going down to 17.
Verse 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy unto the Most High. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever.
Yeah, say about that. So did the sign stop because we were dispersed and fell? No. The sign didn't stop. The covenant didn't stop. It said a perpetual covenant. Perpetual means forever, like long lasting, forever. So the covenant didn't stop. See, the covenants of the Most High don't stop. Just that we as Yasha'Allah, we stopped keeping these covenants. See, so when someone says the laws are done away with, what kind of spirit is that? That's a demon from hell. That's what that is, a demon from hell. Straight from hell. He just came from there. Just came from there. Yeah. So, and I'm going to tell you, if you hear brothers, Israelite brothers saying that, that's a demon from hell. Just came from hell. You know, maybe that demon in him just came from hell. He didn't, but the demon in him is in him, just came from hell. Because it's perpetual. So why did Yahushua say, I came not to destroy the law? It's not destroyed. It's not done away with. It's not destroyed. How are you going to build a society and the kingdom of heaven and our redemption with no law, statute, or commandments? It just doesn't make any sense. You can't do it. You got to have order.
You can read without laws.
Yeah. How you going to do that? You know? They justify themselves so they can stay in their sins. And these people sometimes, and you'll hear these religious pastors saying that. You heard Creflo Dollar saying, you heard it before. They said it, right? But that's the way they can justify themselves in their evil and wickedness and robbing the people and deceiving the people. So they keep on doing it. See, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. This is what they're doing. They're calling it's evil. So they're saying you have to keep the commandments. And they're saying that's good. And all these thousands of people they got in their churches are just following along. Yeah, real quick.
I saw him say, in order to be free from sin, you have to go away from the law. That's what he said.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. How about that? And they take that literally. You know what I'm saying? So it's not talking about that. Actually, free from sin means what?
Keeping the law.
Keeping the commandment. See? But how smooth is that deception? That's real smooth, isn't it? And Satan slides it right on in there. And the people are going to follow it. See? And they follow it. Because why? These religious pastors who have these thousands of people in their congregations, they look up to them. What is it? It's idol worship. It's idol worship. Never idolize. Israel was not supposed to idolize the priests. They were not. All right? Even though the priests administered the commandments and laws and statutes, they still administered it and taught it. But they weren't supposed to idolize them like they do in the churches today. They were just supposed to what? Hear the commandment and then follow the Most High. And then, of course, you're supposed to worship the Most High and Yahushua. That's it. But you're not supposed to idolize the priests. You respect them. See? Understand? You gave them respect because they were the Most High's chosen. And the prophets and the kings and so forth. But not idolize them. See? And then they don't check it out for themselves. How you going to have one of these, pork chop eating priests, pastors, tell you you don't have to keep the commandment, understand, or the Shabbat is on Sunday, and then you don't check it out for yourself.
Right.
Always check it out for yourself. That's why we tell brothers in here, always write down the scriptures. Always write it down. What you hear today, write it down. Then you go home and you check it out for yourself. And then I would even say to you, go further. Go ask the Most High. Is what Barak taught, was that the truth from Most High? I would even go further. Was he teaching us the truth? Was he teaching me the truth? And the congregation? Then that's what Yahushua wants. So now you challenge the Most High. You just challenge the Most High. Now the Most High got to show you. Say you don't challenge the Most High even enough. Most High, Yahweh, show me the commandment. Where's the law? Can you show me the truth or guide me to the truth? That's what the Most High want to hear. Most High loves challenges. He loves the challenge. He loves a good challenge every now and then. That just, that just gets his spirit going. Oh, you want me to show you something? You want me to show you something? Even when the nations challenged the Most High. They challenged the Most High, the Titanic wouldn't sink. God himself couldn't sink this ship. And the Most High sitting on the throne said, wait, did I just hear that? Did I just hear, wait a minute, let me get my turban on. Hold up. Let me get prepared. Challenge. And you tempt the Most High that way. That's you're finished. Don't ever tempt the Most High. Because it challenges him. And the Most High hears it all. And he don't, you know what I'm saying? He know Israel, sometimes, Israel challenged the Most High, but you challenge him foolishly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? By my mother's grave, by my, come on. You know what I'm saying? And then you start swearing. The Most High, I didn't lie, the Most High, and then you lied like crazy. And then that's, you tempted the Most High. Now the Most High got to reveal your lie. See? So don't challenge the Most High, but still, we have to, as a nation, come back and to worship the Most High in righteousness because he gave us the sign of Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? As a covenant, perpetual. And so now is the best time to begin to rehearse that. Right now, even now, to rehearse the righteous acts. Come? So, okay, go ahead up.
Exodus 31:17. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
Right, see? So here again, the Most High reiterated. Here we're in Exodus, but we first went to the scripture in Genesis. Now Moses is reiterating the Most High rested from all the works. Because he's given that to Israel as a sign because that's what he did. Remember, most things that we do, especially as Yasha'Allah, in this earth, in our culture, in our custom with the Most High, it began in the heavens first. Okay? So the pattern of the high holy days, right? The Shabbat, the new moon, right? The Feast of Tabernacles, Passover, Pentecost, Day of Atonement, all started in the spiritual world first. Then the Most High brought it down into the flesh, into the earthly world. All started up there first. Even the pattern of the tabernacle all started with the Most High first. Then it came down. So here you are, here's Yahushua, he's on the Sabbath and he's resting, and what are you doing? Running around, doing what the hell you want to do. See? So can that fly? No. Can you in your house do the chores to keep your house maintained, and your son say, I ain't doing that, Dad. Dad, I'm not just doing that. So what are you going to do? What's the first thing that comes in your mind and in your emotions and your spirit? What? Wait a minute. you got to sit back for a minute, right? So I can picture the Most High saying, what? See, when the Most High said he's angry, He's furious. See? He lays down his judgment and anger and fury. Because it's the same thing. How is you the father of your household, and you do the things, and you do the duties and the works and everything to maintain your house, but your son, who is bigger than you, a lot of times sons ends up being bigger than the father, and he gonna sit on his lazy behind and not do nothing. See? Do you understand? So it's the same thing here. So if the Most High is keeping the high holy days and Yahushua, and we're the Most High's chosen, we got to keep it also. Kana, shalom. We got to keep it also. It's the same difference. So it started in the spiritual world, it comes down into the earth. But who in the earth did it come down to? Yahshua. Come down to us first. Who you think is going to teach these nations how to keep these commandments? Yahshua. But the Most High can't have you teach them nothing if you're not keeping it.
God.
Right. Can't have you do that. How you going to be a teacher, an educator, somebody teaching, let's say, English or so-called math or whatever, right? And you don't know math. You just not going to work, is it? They're going to quickly take you from that position.
Right.
Right? How you going to teach somebody and you know, a high school teacher, you know, junior high school teacher, elementary school teacher, and they got you in that position, but you can't teach. You can't teach the math or the English or whatever they require you to do. They got to take you from the position.
Exactly.
So the Most High had to take Israel from the position.
Yes, exactly.
He's saying he's going to raise up another nation that's going to keep the commandments. That's what he did. You got the white man over there talking about, you know, you know, Toda. Toda. In Yiddish and all that. Understand? And these other nations trying to be you, trying to take on your identity and nationality.
God.
Because you didn't keep them. Most likely took you from the position,
Right.
and gave it to somebody, and they run in the world with your identity. How about that? They run in the world with your identity. They got the Gentiles became rich. The fall of Israel was the riches of the Gentiles, and not only in monetary wealth. We was talking about identity, everything, land, everything. They got everything of you. So that's why they say you're black. You're black people. They totally just, you know, you cease to exist. You just blacked out. You're pretty much like unconscious. Blacked out. That's what it means. No identity, no nothing, no culture, no custom, no nothing, no laws and statutes, no nothing, no power, no land, no language, no nothing. You're blacked out. Black people. See? How can that happen in the history of the earth? A whole nation of people that just, you know, just ceased to exist. You know, gone. Just ceased to exist. By the hand of the Most High, see? See? Because, you know, when you read in the scriptures, the Israelite forefathers, right, swore it couldn't happen. They swore this couldn't happen. But the Most High said, no, it will happen. It will happen. Understand? And it did. Okay, go ahead, up.
18?
Yeah. No. Okay, that was that, right? That was, then we're going to go to Exodus 35. Exodus 35 and 1.
Exodus chapter 35 and verse 1. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, these
Hold on. Where is he going anywhere?
Who's that?
Okay.
Oh, the brother?
No, okay. Go ahead, No, it's all right. It's all right. Come on.
Exodus 35 and 1. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, these are the words which the Most High hath commanded, that ye should do them.
Go ahead.
6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be unto you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Most High. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
So there you go. So whoever does work therein shall be put to death. That's the covenant. That's the sign that the Most High gave Yashala. So go ahead. Now,
Verse 3.
right? Yeah, you're going to go to 3. Go ahead.
Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
Right. So here it is now. No work shall be done on the Sabbath. No work shall be done on the Sabbath. It even goes further and says, you shall not even kindle a fire. Real quick.
Yes, Barak, could you break that down briefly about Nikia, if you work on, does it mean that physically or spiritually?
No, it means that physically. It means that actual Most High will put you to death. We're going to read it. Well, he's going to put you to death. We're going to read the examples.
Okay.
We're going to read the examples. But here it says no kindling of fire on the Sabbath. Okay. Now I know some of us read the scriptures and say, well, the high holy days and the priest kindling a fire. Okay. Well, you got to remember, on the high holy days, the priest can kindle a fire. For the sake of the high holy day, the priest can.
Got a preparation.
And for preparation of the high holy day, the priest can kindle the fire. Yeah. The feast days. Now I'm gonna tell you something. On the Shabbat, the priest kindle the fire too. They kindle fire too. Because remember, Israel, we sacrifice animals on Shabbat. A fire had to be kindled to offer it up to the Most High. But that was allowed. See? Yeah.
And a matter of fact, the fire was never out.
The fire was never out. All right, come. Especially in the menorah and everything. Yeah, the fire was never out. So the fire was kindled. So, but that's talking about other than the priests doing the duties of the Most High, the works of the Most High, and the operation of the Most High in the temple. Other than that, you shouldn't kindle a fire.
Good.
Okay, come. You shouldn't, turn your stove on. All right. And things of that sort. All right. Because I'm going to show you the example. The Most High gave us twice as much the day before. Okay. Twice as much. And then we prepared ourselves for the Shabbat.
Good.
Why don't we prepare? Say we're supposed to prepare ourselves for the Shabbat. Come. So, Exodus 12:16.
12 and 16.
Yeah, Exodus 12:16. We're supposed to prepare ourselves. But that's to show you about the kindling of fire. How the priest was given that duty because we sacrifice animals to kindle the fire to offer it up to the Most High on the altar. Go ahead, Ak.
Exodus 12 and 16. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. In the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
Yeah, see? That every man must eat, that only may be done of you. Okay? On the Shabbat. So, and this is talking about a high holy day Shabbat. Okay? But only what you're supposed, that you could eat, but still, you're not necessarily kindling a fire. Because why? What are you really eating? What you prepared for the day before. Come? You prepared for that the day before. Now you're going to get Leviticus 23, 1-3. Leviticus 23, 1-3. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
See, 6 days shall work be done. The seventh is the Sabbath of rest. Go ahead.
And holy convocation.
A holy convocation. So again, you don't read nothing about the moon, the lunar moon, and all that stuff. You don't read nothing about that. It's a holy convocation, meaning come together, congregate, On the Shabbat. Come? Okay, go ahead.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings.
Okay, now go down to the 6th verse.
Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is a feast of unleavened bread unto the Most High.
Go ahead.
7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire.
By what?
Offering made by fire
Right,
unto the Most High.
So holy convocation, the feast of unleavened bread, come. It's a holy convocation, but here now it's Shabbat, it's Sabbath, come. But they're gonna make an offering made by fire. So, but that scripture said, "Do not kindle fire." So, is something's wrong here, right? No, you just gotta get some understanding and read further, get some understanding. That was only meant for the priests. The killing of fire was only meant for the priests on the high holy days. Okay, so that's why when people, you know, Christians or Muslims or whoever want to challenge Israel, you know what I'm saying, concerning the Sabbath, and then they read that, and then they say, well, you ain't keeping the Sabbath because you kindle a fire. See, especially on your high holy days, you're killing a fire. But that was only meant for the priests, and the priests are allowed to do it because they're in the operations of the Most High. They're allowed to do it. But as far as the normal folk of Israel, on the Shabbat, you don't kindle a fire. All right? You don't kindle a fire. So you allow the priests are able to do it. But as far as when that high holy day comes, still you're not allowed to do it. Kindle a fire. Come? Only the priests are allowed to do it. Because it's a feast day and they're in preparation for the feast. And then they're going to offer up the feast. They're going to offer up the different, you know, goats or lambs or whatever to the Most High. The sacrifices. Okay? Come. So now go to Numbers 28 and 9 real quick. Numbers 28 and 9.
Numbers chapter 28 and verse 9. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2/10 deals of flour for meat offering, mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering.
Yeah. Every what?
Sabbath.
Every Sabbath. Did you know every Sabbath there was a sacrifice, a certain sacrifice done? Every Sabbath. And also the certain sacrifice done for every high holy day. Also there was a certain sacrifice done for what? Every day.
Every day.
Every day. See, that was a duty of the Levitical priests. Every day we sacrifice to the Most High. See? Yeah.
And there was different sacrifice too. You had the sin offering
Yeah.
sacrifice.
And all those were, included also.
You had the women when they have a boy or girl, you had different sacrifice for that.
For that.
Yeah.
So that was a job. That's why the Most High had to separate Levi, because he had a whole job unto himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It needed a whole tribe by itself.
Yeah.
Because especially we were wicked as hell. We're a bunch of sinners. So here go my goat, man. He's shy. Yeah. You know what I did. You ain't even got to talk. Just here. Here comes the next brother. Brother, I ain't even going to talk. Just here. Just take that goat, man. After a while, you'll get sick of that, wouldn't you? Most I got sick of that. You know what I'm saying? The same faces. Brother, what now? I'm tired of these goats you bringing up here. The goat is tired, I'm tired. Brother, get out of here. Go do the right thing. That would be tiresome and tedious, wouldn't it? So you need a whole nation separate to do those sacrifices for the Most High. But if we didn't, if Israel didn't sin like that, at least all those sacrifices would be like cut in half. At least you just have the ceremonial sacrifices. It'd be cut in half. The priest wouldn't be wore out. The priest would wore out, brother. That's why you always had priests to replace other priests. They needed time off. Look, man, I need a vacation. Well, you were just on vacation, I know, but I need another vacation, brother. Because this brother keeps coming up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the priest was off too.
Yeah, how about that? Well, yeah. I mean, and the perfection of it, if the priests weren't off.
Yeah.
See, so even the priests needed a sacrifice for their sin. You know? So that was a job. That was a heavy duty. That was a heavy job. That's why the Most High was angry when the priests went off, and you know what I'm saying? And in the temple they gone off, and you know. And so the Most High said, no. That's why, like, you look at Haiti. Haiti's in poor shape, ain't it? Poorest country on earth, poorest island, poorest everything on earth, man. Most High really did a job, right?
Good.
Yeah, go ahead, up.
Well, goats, almost a shortage of goats.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 goats, right? Shortage of goats. Right. So was that on that? 28:9, right?
Yep. And the 10.
Yeah, that's all you needed. That's all you needed. Yeah, and Exodus 16:22. Exodus 16:22. Okay, so go ahead with that up.
Exodus chapter 16 and verse 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread.
So here go to the example. The brother asked the question, when the Most High said he's going to put you to death because you break the Sabbath, was it physical or spiritual? Okay, let's see. Go ahead, Doc.
2 omers for 1 man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, this is that which the Most High hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Most High. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up until the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
Right, because if we as a nation do everything that we're supposed to do correctly, the Most High is not going to have your portions, your food portions, wither away. Because really by the next day, you're not supposed to really eat it. But when we're in the wilderness, the Most High said, okay, when the Sabbath came, because we had to prepare for the Sabbath, the Most High gave us double as much manna, double as much quail. Remember we had the quail, right? Double as much. So we would gather double. And then we prepared ourselves for the Shabbat. Okay, the food didn't spoil. You know, when you keep food out, right, and have some left over, because now we wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator, whatever, but you know, in 2 hours, the decaying process begins. Just in 2 hours. I don't care if you put it in the refrigerator. It still begins. Yeah. So I can see why the Most High said, don't eat food, you know, even though the Most High did say 3 days. After 3 days, you gotta, you know, but still the decaying process begins. Yeah. It'll begin on you. With nothing but you're supposed to eat the natural organic food that the Most High teaches us in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But if you eat all that GMO food, you know, you're going to see it decay a little bit more. Because your body's not getting the right nutrients to keep itself going.
Yeah, reps are stinking.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, up.
Verse 25. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Most High. Today ye shall not find it in the field. Yeah, see, the Most High didn't even bring the manna in the field. He didn't even have the quails nothing in the field on the Shabbat. Because you know how stubborn our people are, they're going to say, oh man, look man, I need one more quail. One more quail. Let me sneak out there. That's Israel, right? Let me sneak out there so I can get me a quail. This quail is good. It's good, brother. And then next thing you know, he's sneaking out there. And then what do you find? There ain't no quail out there. No manna, no nothing. Because the Most High know Israel, right? You gotta take get a quail.
You're going to break the whole commandment and be put to death for one little quail. Just stupid. You know, but you know, it happens. Just stupid. Your whole family, now you're going to get your whole family killed for a damn quail. When the Most High already gave you double. But because of greed, you know. Greed and that lust is just greed, that's all. Go ahead.
Verse 26. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none.
See? So preparation. Actually, you should prepare for the Sabbath the whole week. In all actuality. Because not just the one day before you prepare, but you should prepare for the whole week. If you do a little bit for the preparation each day, you know what I'm saying? Then you're straight. Even the day, when that day comes, the day before the Sabbath, you pretty much got everything there. Okay? You ain't got to really do too much. But you know you're going to be running around on the day before. You're going to be running around trying to prepare. You're going to forget something. You know what I'm saying? So you should prepare for the whole week. Because when the Shabbat comes, see, that's supposed to be a joyous occasion. It's the Shabbat. It's supposed to be to worship the Most High Yahweh, a joyous occasion. Understand? Rejoicing and everything. Understand? You know, when people, you know, when they have Christmas and they have parades and all that, they have parade, Thanksgiving Day parade. What do they do? It's a joyous occasion, right? In this world. That's how we're really supposed to celebrate the Most High Yahweh. In all true essence. See? Okay, go ahead, up.
27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Hey, look, I'm going out there, man. It's the Sabbath, don't go out there. You know what's going to happen? Ain't nothing going to happen. I went out there 2 weeks ago. I stepped out there 2 weeks ago, ain't nothing happened. He tempted, because the Most High gave him grace 2 weeks ago. So he gave him a little grace. Now he's going to try it again. So he's going to find out this time. It's going to happen, right? See? Grace is over. He said, you know what I'm saying? See, he said, mercy time shall soon depart, right? So he thought because he got mercy 2 weeks ago and stepped out in the Sabbath, nothing happened to him. Most High gave him a chance, see, to correct himself. Think about that, give him a chance. But what did they do? Read that part again.
Verse 27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none.
They found nothing. Because the Most High gave so much, they're thinking there's going to be some still left out there. But in the twinkling of an eye, the Most High, the way he gave it, he can just have it disappear. So Israel just, you know what I'm saying, it's just carnal, right? Just carnal. The Most High gave it to you that way, and it just appeared, you know what I'm saying? So why can't he take it away that way? But Israel, that's Israel, man. Yeah.
And you didn't find no goats to get rid of your sin.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-oh. He out there right in the middle. Right there. Everybody see him. And he look at the other brothers and say, uh-oh, we done messed up. What we gonna do for this? Finished. Go ahead, up.
Verse 28. And the Most High said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws?
Right, see? So Moses got to go back to the Most High, and he know what the Most High going to say. Moses, how long? See? It's not just Moses, how long are they going to, no. How long are they going to refuse my commandment? Because now the Most High is angry. Because he distinctly told them, don't do that. But you always got the rebellious ones, always, amongst Israel, always, right? How long? So go ahead, Art.
Verse 29. See, for that the Most High hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day.
Right. So you think now after those brothers were caught and those people were caught on the 7th day going out there trying to get the quail or whatever, and the Most High went back to Moses and said, Moses, how long shall they refuse my word? See? I doubled your portions on the day before, the 6th day. And then no family lacked. Nobody lacked anything. The ones, if you had a family of 100 people, know what I'm saying? If you had a family of 100, then you got what you needed for 100 people. And of course, moreover, you know what I'm saying? If you had a family of, 2 or 3, 4 or 5, people, small family, you got what was according. Yeah. So you didn't have to come out your tent or your house, your tent. Back then was tents were in the wilderness. You didn't have to come out at all because you had enough to eat and you prepared it. You cooked that quail like you were cooking fried chicken. You're cooking chicken, bro. Like I said, back then they said, no, this ain't quail, this is chicken. Israel loved chicken. This is chicken. Everything tastes like chicken. So that's how you prepared it. Baked chicken, and you even prepared barbecue chicken. Hey, look, I'm going to prepare it that way too. But on the Shabbat, you're going to get hungry. The fact that you're saying, I can't do nothing, you're going to be hungry. All of a sudden, hunger just come at you. You're not really hungry. You're not really dying of, starvation. But all of a sudden, you just get hungry out of nowhere because, you can't do what you normally do. So you had it all there. So the day before, you prepared, your quail. You had your quail, cooked your fried quail, your barbecue quail, you know what I'm saying? Your quail with sauce on it, hot sauce, whatever you needed to do.
Baked quail?
Baked quail, whatever you needed to do, you had it there prepared. And then, you don't have to do anything. But we don't do that now, right? No. Yeah. We're all guilty of that. We don't do that now. But if you're gonna rehearse the righteous acts all the way, that's how you're gonna do it. That's how you're gonna do it. And then you want your maybe your cake or your pie or whatever you like to eat sweet. All prepare all that before. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, now that you see it and you think on it, you say, wow, that makes it easier for you to deal with the Sabbath. It makes it easier. But because we're in captivity and we work for our enemy, you don't have time. You work and try to pay the rent. Then the Sabbath comes, you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's a high holy day. Now you ain't got no time to do anything. Then if you work at night, you know what I'm saying? And some of us have to work on the Sabbath, so we really can't, you can't keep it like we should. But the Most High know what you can do and what you can't do. So you got to look at that too. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Verse 31. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey.
Yeah, so that says, so that was the manna that came out of the spiritual world, right? And the quails and so forth. But again, that just shows you the Most High gave us double the day before, and that's how we're supposed to practice it. We make our food or whatever you got to make, you make it double on the day before. So on the Sabbath, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to kindle a fire. Okay? And you keep it, if we got our refrigerators, but we didn't have refrigerators back then. So what? It stayed what? It stayed fresh and it stayed like room temperature. Israel wasn't carrying no refrigerators out of Egypt, so we didn't have no refrigerators, brother. There was no refrigerators, right? So because why? We were people that ate our food fresh. You didn't need a refrigerator.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
You didn't need no refrigerator. But even though the Most High said, okay, you're going to make your food, everything, prepare everything the day before, we just read that the Most High said what? The food didn't spoil. Even though it was the next day, it still didn't spoil anything.
Wow.
All right? Yeah.
Plus, we were very inventive then. We could use the rocks to keep it cool.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there were ways to keep things cool, though. All right, there was ways. Israel, we were creative, so we had. It wasn't refrigerators, but you had a way to keep it fresh and keep it cool. And then again, after 3 days, you wasn't gonna eat it no way.
That's right. Exactly.
You think David was gonna eat something 3 days later? No. His food was made fresh every day. He wasn't eating. 2 hours later, David wasn't eating it. You know what I'm saying? It was fresh. They brought it to him. He ate it. That was it. He didn't have to worry about, okay, man, how long you had this food on. You know what I'm saying? How long you had this sitting out? What, sorry, King, you eating leftovers. What? Take his head off, right? Because We're kind of short on funds. You can have your head chopped off, brother. No leftovers for that. Okay, so same here. Who had the hand up?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, also they used to make the clay pots that keep the food cool as well. Also.
Yeah.
How about that?
Those clay pots.
Come on, yeah.
And even our water that we are no longer, I don't know what they did with it. Big, huge clay, and they had it. And it was as cold as anyone. The other thing is that the spices.
Yeah.
The only thing that they would do overnight would marinate. They marinate their stuff.
Do it overnight.
So the spices and the stuff in there prevents it from
Getting spoiled.
right away.
Very good. Yeah. We were ingenious, brother. We were geniuses. So the Spirit of Most High was with us. So we had ways to keep things fresh and keep it from getting spoiled. Okay. All right. So very good. That was good on that one. And so now the Numbers 15:32. Israel found a man gathering sticks. Why did he do that?
15:32.
15:32.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 32.
Come.
And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Okay, so found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And you know it's the Sabbath, so you're not supposed to do any work. But this man, I don't know what he was thinking. What was this brother's thinking? What was on his mind? But he just decided to come out of his tent and start gathering sticks. Maybe he was delusional. I don't know. Maybe he had a psychiatric problem. Who knows? But this brother decided to gather sticks on a Shabbat. Go ahead, up.
Verse 33. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation. And they put him in a ward.
And so, of course, if you see on a Shabbat and you in your tent doing the right thing and all of a sudden you peek out your tent and here go a hard-headed Negro, you know what I'm saying, gathering the sticks, what's the first thing you're going to say? You know, Masha, Moses, this is what I seen. You understand? This is what I seen. So Masha was like, okay, what should we do with this brother? What shall we do with him? Moses just didn't take it upon himself to do anything, right? He went straight to the Most High. He went to the highest of the heights of the Most High, brother. Because Moses didn't want to make a mistake in that situation. And he's right. See? If you don't want to make a mistake, ask the Most High. And we don't do that enough, do we? But ask the Most High. Then the Most High will guide you. He'll guide you to the leaders to give you the answer, but he'll still guide you. Okay, go ahead, up.
And they put him in a ward because it was not declared what should be done to him.
They put him where?
In a ward.
What was that? Today, that's what? Prison. Put that nigga in prison. You're going to prison. The Israel prisons? Yeah, we had prisons. Yeah. Okay. We had prisons for a certain length of time, a day or two or three, until the priest decide. What you're gonna do. And when the Spirit of Most High came in for the answer, I'm saying, yeah, you in prison. I'm saying, you in prison, yeah. Okay, yeah, you in prison. Go ahead, up.
35. And the Most High said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
Here go the answer, Moses. Kill him. Surely. Surely means what? There is no ifs, ands, or buts. So whereas Moses said, okay, I'm not sure. Moses said, no, surely put him to death.
Guaranteed.
It's a guarantee. There's no money back guarantee. There's no warranty on it. It's for sure. It's for sure. In other words, don't hurt him a little bit and let him live. No. Go all the way. And they said, what? Do what to him? How was the punishment?
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp.
Brother, do you know what that means? All Israel surrounds you.
You got millions of people doing rocks at you.
Yeah, all Israel surrounds you. And then the leaders got to say, okay, everybody pick up a stone. And then you got a brother who's one of the bigger ones, one of the bigger brothers. He pick up something that's like this. he gonna really get him, right? I was in my tent on the Shabbat and he wasn't. Okay.
Overly righteous.
Yeah, overly righteous, right? I'm gonna pick up the biggest rock. Brother, you can barely carry that thing. Yeah, just pick up a rock. There's enough of them out there, it's gonna kill him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Enough rocks thrown at you, it's gonna kill you. You don't need the biggest one.
And what about the one rock that gonna have mercy on him? He pick up a little pebble.
Yeah, a little pebble, right? Yeah, he want to have mercy on him, right? But the Most High, he has it covered. So whereas the ones, his cousins and kinfolk may say, okay, yeah, let me get me a little pebble, right? They feel for him, right? But because there's so many, the Most High still has it covered. He ain't got to worry about the little pebble. The little pebble ain't gonna do nothing when the brother over there got one, bigger than his face. It ain't gonna matter. Capital punishment, brother. That was in the scriptures. Capital punishment. Yeah, that's when the state says, this is how you got to be put to death. So the state back then was what? The leaders, the leadership. Marshal and the elders, right? And then of course, the Mashiach Yahushua gave the order. That was the state. That was capital punishment. That's the worst death. You know why? Because that first pebble ain't going to kill you. The second one ain't going to kill you. The third one ain't going to kill you. It's torturing you. Yeah. Torture you to death. Yeah. All for what? All for an example. That the Most High's High Holy Day is serious. It was serious. So it's literal. It's literal death. Okay?
Okay.
So, and that was, did we finish that? That was Numbers 30, you went to 36?
I didn't read 36.
Okay, go ahead.
36. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died. And the Most High, as the Most High commanded Moses.
As the Most High did a commandment. See, that's all the Most High wants, is for you to keep his commandments. And sometimes his commandments, see, the Most High's commandments, doesn't the scripture say his word is his commandment?
Yeah.
Right. So if the Most High commands you to do something and you don't do it, then you didn't keep his commandments. But you say, Most High, I kept the laws. No, he said, my command, what did I command you now, at this moment? Understand? What I command you at this moment, you got to do that commandment too. Not just the statutes and the written laws, statutes, but also the Most High command you something right now. See? If you deny to do that, all right, see? So Moses, that's why Moses, scripture said Moses was the humblest man, the meekest man on earth. He did exactly what the Most High wanted. And that's what the Most High is looking for. See? Okay, now you're going to go to Nehemiah 10. As you can see, this is all leading up to what? All leading up to the Gospels. And now you're going to see, and then you're going to see what the Gospels say about the Shabbat. All leading up to the Gospels. Okay, go ahead, Ak.
Start at 1?
No, 10:31.
Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell.
See, if the people of the land and the people of this land, the other nations in our neighborhoods, in the ghettos and slums and projects in our neighborhoods, they bring any victuals to sell, go ahead.
That to sell on the Sabbath day.
Yeah, and they sell it to you on the Sabbath day, go ahead.
That we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day.
Yeah, so how come we don't do it as a people?
We should.
We should, too, me. We should. And then you'll put them out of business. Because the Sabbath day is pretty much their biggest day, I would say. One of their biggest days.
Yes. From Friday right through.
Yeah, I would say the Sabbath is one of their biggest days. You could say Friday too, but it's one of their biggest days. If just on the Sabbath day, if you just stop, cease, you put them out of business. They say nobody coming to the stores, nobody's buying, cheese steaks at the Arab spot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody, buying at the East Indian spot down the, the merchandise. The Chinese hole in the wall. Nobody's buying pork fried rice. No big. Then the goose guys look at themselves and say, "Wait a minute, we got to go out of business. They're not, these Negroes ain't buying nothing." You wouldn't have as many in the neighborhoods. Yeah.
And on Satan Day, Sunday, they slow it down.
They slow it down. Yeah. How about that? They slow it down. Some of them even close, right?
Everything's shut down, closed.
Isn't that something?
Closed.
Isn't that something? So that means if you didn't buy nothing on the Shabbat, Saturday, let's say, right? You didn't buy anything, or people, millions of our people in the ghetto slum didn't buy nothing, or these enemy stores. And then when Sunday came, a lot of them closed down anyway, so they're not making money. Well, they had to go out of business, wouldn't they?
They open Sunday back up.
Yeah, they probably would. They probably would. But still, nevertheless, you put a lot of them out of business. Put a lot of them out of businesses. That's a lot of money they're losing, right? See? But of course, we're not thinking that way. But here, Nehemiah is saying and showing us in the scriptures, during the time of Nehemiah, the Most High show us, if the enemy come to you with victuals to buy, right? Go ahead, Al.
That we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
We would not buy it of them on the Sabbath. Go ahead.
Or on the holy day.
Or on any high holy day. Okay, go ahead.
And that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
Yeah. How about every 7th year was a high holy day too? Come? And the exaction of every debt.
Of every day.
You owe me, brother? Okay, but when that day came, right? But don't be foolish. See, Israel can kind of spiteful too. You owe somebody something and you're going to wait for the 7 years. That's not right. That's not right.
That's not right.
Yeah. The Most High would get you for that. Yeah. You're going to wait 7 years? 7 years ago, the brother lent you some money or whatever it was, you know. Or maybe he might lent you his ox or his, you know what I'm saying, a lamb or whatever. You know, your mule to help you in your farm or something, right? And to pay it back, you're going to wait 7 years. And then when the exaction of every 7th year comes, nobody had to pay anybody back. And that was wicked. That would have been wicked. So the Most High would have your household in worse condition. Even though that brother helped you out during that time, you still would be in a worse condition because the Most High see your heart. You're not right. That wouldn't be right.
Yeah, but in those days, the priests will be the ones to record.
Yeah, to record it.
So
Yeah.
they will know who and when is supposed to be fulfilled.
Exactly. So that wouldn't be right if you did that.
Yeah.
So the priest recorded it. Yes. The priest recorded it, and you still gonna wait 7 years?
Yeah.
See? It's just wicked as hell. But I can see a situation like that with a priest where the person that lent the person, whatever it was, would go to the priest and say, look, it's been a year and some, it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years, look, they haven't paid me back yet. They would go to the priest, and of course the priest would make a little visit.
Exactly.
You don't want the priest to come to your house, brother. You don't want them to come to your house. That's like the FBI coming to your house now. Sorry, the IRS. The IRS said you owe such and such. See, it's the same difference, right? And the priest going to say, well, we got to record it. You owe this individual such and such, right? See, so we got to be more righteous than that. Right. Okay, go ahead.
We don't need to add something to that.
Yeah.
With the exaction of every debt, that's it shows the copy of what they do with the credit system.
Exactly.
Every 7 years, they release the debt, and then also, if you look at the crashes of the market, was 2008. Prior to that was 2001. Every 7 years, they release the market.
Wow.
So it's releasing debt, and then that's how they buy.
Yeah.
So it's copied off the Bible.
Yeah, copied off the Bible. How about that? Huh? That's a good point. See? Okay, go ahead. You're reading the Nehemiah 10:31 to 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 32. Also, we made ordinances for us to charge ourselves yearly with the 3rd part of a shekel for the service of the house of the Most High.
Yes, a 3rd part of a shekel, right? The house of the Most High always had to be maintained. So, just like now, you come to the house of David. This is a little sanctuary, right? But it has to be maintained, doesn't it?
Good.
So that's why the Most High says, even back then, Israel had to help the priests maintain the house of the Most High with your shekels, with your gold, with your silver, your tithes, your offerings, everything. It had to be maintained. So we're just here today, you're at the house of David, so we say, pay your offerings or whatever you give. What? To help maintain. That's all it's about. That's to help maintain. Okay? 'Cause we're going to do it as a nation anyway. So again, you're rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, go ahead, up.
33. For the showbread and for the continual meat offering and for the continual burnt offering.
See, continual. It has to be maintained because what? It's continual. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. The only reason why these sacrifices stop is because of the Mashiach. That's the only reason. Because of the Mashiach came with a better sacrifice. But are they going to continue in the kingdom? Yes, come. It will continue. It'll go back to that. And most I will, the sin offering won't be as much. But the other offerings, they're going to be there. Right. Yeah. The priests are all coming back. The Levitical priesthood is coming back. It's all coming back. Okay, so go ahead, up.
Of the Sabbaths, of the new moons.
Continual, continual. Go ahead.
For the set feasts and for the holy things.
All continual. It didn't stop. Did the new moon stop because we're in captivity? No. Still there, right? Does the sun stop its course? You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't dispersed about the earth? No. Nothing stopped. Okay, go ahead, up.
And for the sin offerings, to make an atonement for Israel.
Okay, go ahead.
And for all the work of the house of the Most High.
Yeah, the house of the Most High, for all that work. A lot of work had to be done. A lot of work. So the same thing here. To rebuild, and the scriptures say the house of David. How about that? To rebuild the house, or the tabernacle of David. To rebuild that house. You know how much work that is? So we can't do it by ourselves. So the Most High said, okay, become fishers of men. And go out there and teach. And teach our people the law, statute, commandments, and fish our people so they'll come in, so they can help take part in this building process. Because you're building the house back up. Okay, Con, go ahead, up.
34. And we cast lots among the priests, the Levites.
Okay, that was it, right? 34. Now go to Isaiah 56 and 2. See? Isaiah 56 and 2. So that was, we had the Torah. We went from the Torah in the 5 books of Moses, and then we went to the Old Testament, Nehemiah, and now we're going to continue in the Old Testament in Isaiah 56 and 2. What does it say about the Shabbat? Go ahead, up.
Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 2. Blessed is a man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it.
Oh, yeah, so blessed is a man that doeth this. Blessed is he that doeth it. So why does the Most High put it like that? Because as a nation, we're not keeping the high holy day. So now Most High come back and say, blessed is that man that doeth the Shabbat. All right? Don't worry about everybody else out there, out in the world doing what they want to do. You're doing what the Most High want you to do when you're keeping the Shabbat. Okay, so that's how we gotta look at it. Most High says don't conform to the world. Right? Don't conform to it. Come out of the world. Right? Okay, go ahead, up.
That keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger that hath joined himself unto the Most High speak, saying, the Most High hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith the Most High unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me.
All right. Go ahead, Ak. You're going to come back with something else. Go ahead.
I will give them an everlasting name.
An everlasting name. Go ahead, Ak.
That shall not be cut off.
Go ahead.
Also the sons of the stranger.
Even the stranger?
Yes, this is from the beginning, he said.
The other nations?
Yes.
Even them?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ak.
That join themselves unto the Most High.
Yeah, the strangers that join themselves unto the Most High, which means what? The strangers would have to agree to follow the law, statute, and commandments. Okay? They would have to agree to this. All right? Agree to the commandment. Go ahead, Ak.
To serve him and to love the name of the Most High.
So they would have to serve the Most High, love the name of the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Okay? So are the strangers, can a stranger be joined unto the Most High? Yes, come. They cannot. But first they would have to do what? They got to recognize who? They have to recognize Israel. They're going to have to recognize Israel first. Yeah, they remember in Isaiah 14 and what it says, what? Strangers shall be joined unto them. And we're going to possess them in captivity. And they should be led away in captivity. But they have to be recognize Israel as the Most High's chosen, as the Hebrews, everything. All right, Con? You can't just say, well, I got my idol God, but I'm going to keep the Sabbath, but I got my idol God, I'm going to do whatever. No. See? It has to be, yeah, they're from another nation, but they have to serve the Most High in perfection. Okay? As that nation. Okay, go ahead, Al.
To be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them I will bring to my holy mountain.
Yeah, see? So the Most High said, even the stranger can come to my holy mountain and serve. And they are. Right? Because the scripture says, if the house of Egypt come not up, there should be no rain over Egypt. If the other nations come not up, there should be no rain on that nation, on their land. So they're going to have to come up too. Okay? And learn the ways of the Most High. But when they come up to the tabernacle, when they come up to the temple, when they come up to Zion in Jerusalem, who are they going to see? They're going to see Israel. Are they going to see Yahushua? No. They're not going to see Yahushua. They're going to see us. So they're going to have to, you know, bow down to us, like the scriptures say. They're going to, kings shall bow down before you. And they're going to have to reverence you and understand that through you, that's how they're going to, recognizing that you're the chosen, or people are chosen, that's how they're going to be blessed.
Good.
Hallelujah.
Then it'll be rain and all that in their land. And the nation don't want to do that, well, they're going to be destroyed. And all we got to do is go to Yahushua. The Egyptians, they didn't come up. I didn't see one Egyptian Yahushua, not one. Okay? And Yahushua, and then Yahushua give the command, and then we're going to hear the outcry in Egypt. Ain't no water. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead, Al.
Verse 7, even them will I bring into my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people.
Yeah. See? A house of prayer for all people. Now the Christian churches, they take that out of context. They kill me with that. Why they take that out of context? They don't read the other scriptures where it says, for the nation that don't recognize Israel, they shall perish. That's in Isaiah 60 and 12. Read that. Isaiah 60 and 12. How come they don't read this? See, they'll read that house of prayer for all people, but then they won't read this. Or the one in Zechariah where it says, if the house of Egypt come not up, there should be no rain. How come they don't read that? Go ahead.
I'm going to read 16 and 12?
Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Well, how come they don't read that? How come they don't read that? For the nation and kingdom that will not serve, and it's talking about Yahshua, they shall perish. So yeah, the Most High's house is a house and prayer for all people, but they got to serve Israel.
Hallelujah.
They got to serve Israel. See, the Christian churches don't put that in there. Go ahead, Al.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
And where they going? They don't serve you? Utterly wasted. And you know out of jealousy, some of them are not going to want to do it. You know. But it's going to take place because the Most High said it's going to happen. Okay? So that was it on that one. And then you get Isaiah 58 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 12.
Go ahead.
And that they shall be of thee, shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations.
Raise the foundations of many generations. This is what's happening now. Okay? Because as a people, we come from the foundation of many generations. Okay? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay, so that's happening. That's happening as we speak. Go ahead, Up.
And thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach.
See? You'll be called the repairer of the breach. That's noble. To be called that is a noble thing. Okay, so brothers and sisters in here too, you'll be called a repairer of the breach. Isn't there a breach?
Yes. Yes.
First, the breach is between Israel and the Most High. That's a breach there. And then, of course, it extends itself down to the nation. You want to be a repairer of the breach. Go ahead.
The restorer of paths to dwell in.
The restorer of paths to dwell in. So what path are we going towards now?
Righteousness.
Yeah, righteousness. There you go. You want to restore that. So you want to be the one, and the brothers want to be the one, the brothers in the camp, the sisters, you want to be a repairer of that path towards righteousness. And that's why you go out there and teach in the camp. You're literally doing what the Most High is saying here, repairing. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
If you turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, go ahead.
From doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
Yeah, so if you abstain from doing your own pleasure. So what is your own pleasure?
Whatever it is you like to do.
Yeah, whatever you like to do. See? Whatever you like to do. You got to abstain from. Everybody has what they like to do. Their individual thing they like to do. So Moses said, abstain from that for one day. I just got to do it, brother. I just got to get high. You know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? For one day they can't stop. But still, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about whatever your little pleasures are out there. If it's shopping, one day. See? Understand? If it's even having sex, all that, one day. Look what the Most High is saying. One day. See, your pleasure. Abstain from your pleasure. Go ahead, Art.
And call the Sabbath a delight.
Call it a delight. And that's what you're doing. When you abstain from that, your pleasure. I got news for you. A lot of people fast on the Sabbath. Yeah, a lot of people fast. Because you're still abstaining, right? Because eating could be your pleasure too. Yeah.
Especially if you like nice cakes and all them stuff. You stay away from that.
You stay away from that. Even if you just, we're not saying a total fast. You don't have to do a total fast. But even if you abstain from, let's say, eating dinner, so-called dinner or breakfast, and you just have maybe liquid.
Right.
You just have liquids. You're abstaining, you know what I'm saying, from the food, from the meats and all that. You're abstaining. So that's something that you can think about too. But a lot of people do fast on the Sabbath.
Yes.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
The holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, finding your own pleasure. You know, Israelites, they got to find something to do. They got to find, and normally it's evil. All right. I'm saying, looking for evil, looking for wicked, to do something evil. So, not finding your own pleasure and not speaking your own words. And what are your own words? Well, your own things that come out of your own mind. But if it's not about the Most High, okay? So the Most High saying on the Sabbath, everything should be about, you know, the Most High's praising the Most High, singing about the Most High, the laws and statutes of the Most High, everything. Go ahead, up.
14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High hath spoken it.
Right, see? And so that's the reward. If we abstain and not do our own pleasure of the Most High, that's the reward. And get this one in Amos 8 and 5. And then just two more after this. A couple more after this, and that's it. Amos 8 and 5.
Amos chapter 8 and verse 5. Saying, when will the new moon be gone?
How about that? Who says that? Yeah. When will the new moon, oh, Herod new moon, Herod high holy day? Because I got things to do. I got things to do. I can't be celebrating this high holy day. It's impeding me. It's stopping me from doing what I gotta do. Go ahead.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn?
Yeah, I gotta sell. I got my business to run. I got a business, man. This new moon thing, this high holy day thing, the Shabbat, it's in my way. I got money to make, people to see, things to do.
Places to go.
Places to go. It's true. It's true. Go ahead,
And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit.
Yeah, yeah. And you got a business to run. You don't want the high holy day to come because you got a business to run, but all you're going to do is use deceit to make money.
Run up the prices.
Run up the prices anyway. So you don't want the high holy day or righteousness to come in, the ceremonial laws, because you want to do wickedness. You want to deceive the people so you can get rich or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And that's Israel, right? So the same thing, Ted. You can see it. They do the same thing. Hurry up, man, hurry up. I got things to do. Yeah. You got brothers in here who have that mindset. They come in here and they're antsy. They can't sit still because why? Their minds are really out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? They're not comfortable. What they do, they make a vain show of coming in here. Yeah, but I was there. I don't care if you were there. You know what I'm saying? You don't care if you're there. You know what I'm saying? So, look, a lot of our people were there in the wilderness, weren't they? They were there, but then they were gone a few days later, like, where did he go? Mosai put him to death. See? Understand? So, yeah, you might be there, but you're not in the spirit. That's what that means. Who had their hand up? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to comment, too. That's what they do around in the world, around the holidays.
Yeah.
They jack everything up so you can consume more.
You consume more.
Once you come up with that holiday high, that hell day high, it's going to dry up.
It's going to dry up. Yeah, about that. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 6, that we may buy the poor for silver, and the needy for a pair of shoes, yea, and sell the refuse of the wheat. The Most High has sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works.
He never forgot. And you say, well, why'd that cop take out his gun and shoot the brother down in the back? And what did the Most High say?
I will never forget any of their works.
That's why. You don't know who that brother was. That brother could have been one of them. But he was only 18, so what? And Most High said, I'll never forget. And that's why now you haven't been shot down in the streets. And now people are crying, my son is killed in the streets, shot in the back. Or shot in the front, don't matter.
Or in your house.
Or in your house. Okay, so it doesn't matter because Most High will never forget any of their ways. So just in the reincarnation, the Most High gets you now. So, gets you now. Understand? Yeah, we're in the flesh, we have compassion, and it hurt us as a people, but the Most High said, I'm going to get you back. In the third or fourth generation, it's coming. Yes, go ahead, sis.
And what they also seem to forget, rushing out to do that's idol worshiping, because they're worshiping the money and forgetting the Most High. So they're ruined already inside. They're spiritually ruined.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay, was that it up?
7.
That was. I don't want all that. That was good. Now that brings us to the gospel, right? Matthew 12:1. So all that was in the Torah. Went up to the Old Testament, and now it brings us to the gospel, the New Testament. What does the Mashiach say about the Shabbat? Say about the Sabbath? See, that was what you read, was those scriptures that we read before that was like the letter of the law. That was the letter of the law. Okay? You break the Shabbat, you're going to be put to death. That's the letter of the law. But now, here we come with the Gospels. What do Yahushua, the Mashiach, say about it? Okay? Now read Matthew 12:1.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 1. At that time, Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
Right, see? How the Pharisees, Sadducees wanted to target Yahushua for sin, because the Pharisees, Sadducees, they knew the law. They were expert in the laws and the statutes of the Most High. They were. But here come these wicked Pharisees going to say, look, you're working on the Sabbath. Okay, you're working on the Sabbath. You're doing what you should not be doing on the Shabbat. Okay, go ahead, Up.
Verse 3. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of the Most High and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat?
Wait a minute. So Yahushua come back. Didn't you read what David did? It wasn't lawful for him to eat the showbread.
Yeah.
But the Most High, because David had faith, and the grace of the Most High was with him, right? The priest gave him the showbread. All right? Out of faith, the priest did that. He wasn't supposed to do it, but out of faith and the Spirit of the Most High had him do it. That was against the commandment. Come?